Okay, you guys can take out your PowerPoint and we will get going with the goal setting real quick. It won't take us long. A lot of this you guys have probably had before. If you've ever had a leadership class or anything like that, you've seen this. So look, a goal is something that you aim for that takes planning and work. So you guys know this, okay? If you have a goal, it's going to take some work and some planning to get there. You know, I can't say, okay, I want to be a nurse when I grow up, so, you know, I just want to be a nurse. I'm going to go apply for a job. You can't do that. It's going to take planning and work. You've got to make the grades to get into nursing school. You got to plan it. It's going to take about 3 or 4 years to get to a place where, you know, I can graduate as a nurse. And then you got to plan out, okay, what kind of job do I want to have? Do I want to work around home, you know, or do I want to work in the Metroplex? If I want to work in the Metroplex, I have to get my bachelor's degree. And so those are all things to think about, you know, that you have to plan for. And it's really important for you guys. I know that you're young and you think, okay, I can think about that later, but every little thing makes such a difference right now. Every grade that you make in your, you know, college dual credit courses while you're in high school those are going to be on your transcript when you get to school. So it's so important that you know, take things seriously and you know, really plan and work. So when you're choosing a goal, it should be realistic, okay? So it should be realistic. If you are, you know, maybe on your collage, maybe you had a mansion in Malibu, okay? Now, if you're wanting to be a pharmacy technician for the rest of your life, okay, that you know, mansion in Malibu is not realistic. You know, that's not, you're not going to do that making $12 an hour or $10 an hour and be able to afford something like that. Now, maybe you marry somebody who's got lots of money. I don't know, but you can't really bank on that. So make sure that your goals are realistic for what you want to do. You know, maybe someday you could afford, you know, a Mustang or something like that, but it's going to take planning or to get there and saving and scrimping and all that. The other aspect of that is this: if something is realistic, you know, if you're not very good with people, maybe you're not very good at serving people or caring for people, or you're not very good, you know, you don't have a lot of mercy towards people, you know, nursing may not be a realistic career choice for you. Those are things that really are important in nursing. So that's another aspect to think about. Of course, you guys know I just talked about nursing a lot because that's what I do, but make sure that your goal is challenging. Okay, you know, make sure that it's challenging for you. If you get into something that's not challenging, make a goal that's not challenging. When you get bored, you get into trouble. When, you know, and that's just not, it's not a good, it becomes monotonous, burnout occurs, and so that's not, it needs to stay challenging. Make sure that it's consistent with your values, okay? So if something's really important to you, maybe your time with your family is really important and that's not something that you're willing to sacrifice. You want to be able to, you know, spend lots of hours at home with your family, okay? Then maybe working as an ER physician might not be the best job for you, or working as a, you know, whatever else that's got long hours, you know, you have to be on call. Those kind of things might not be a good option. So that's important that you find something that matches up with your values, that you're not going to do a job that doesn't match up with what you believe in, you know. So consistent, you know, that it, again, you know, it makes sense with what you're doing. Your job is consistent with your goals, and it's, you know, they match up. There's a progression there. Okay, you got 2 basic types of goals. You've got time-based and subject-based. So time-based goals is just, okay, in 5 years, I want to be here. This is where I want to be in life. Okay, versus a subject-based goal is more like, okay, I want to go to this school. I want to get this degree. You know, I want, by the time I don't know, then I'm back into time-based. A lot of times you'll match them up together. But those are some ideas. Oops. Okay, so in goal setting, a few steps to follow. One is make a list of all the things that you'd like to do in your lifetime. You already did that, right? You did your little collage. So from this list, it says choose the things you think you can reasonably accomplish or at least begin within the next 5 years. So what are some things you can start on or begin within the next 5 years? Most of you, if you put a career on there, of course you're going to start on that within the next 5 years. You know, what are some things that you can do? Now it says from your 5-year list, prioritize the items and decide which you can reasonably accomplish within the next year or begin. So look at that. It says for each goal, make a list of ways to reach it, and make specific lists. Okay, if you want to get into nursing school, you need to make good grades. If you want to get into radiology tech school, you need to make good grades. You need to take your anatomy classes in college. You can go and job shadow, whatever it is. So make sure that the goals are yours and not those of your parents or your friends. Figure out, what do you want to do? What do you enjoy? What's going to challenge you and make you leave work every day and feel like you've done something. And that's different for everybody. Make sure it's something that you want. Identify others who can help you and support you. Find people who encourage you. Okay, don't hang out with people who are all negative and they're going to tear you down and tell you can't do it or just distract you from your goal. Some of you guys, your friends may not put you down, but maybe hanging out with them really distracts you from getting your homework done. Or maybe they, distract you and try to talk you into cheating. Those kind of people are not the people you want around you. They're not going to encourage you. They're not going to support you. They're going to, suck your energy from you. Post your goals where you can see them. Take this collage, put it up on your bulletin board at home so it's something to think about and motivate you. Okay, when you're doing your homework, I want to make good grades. I want to get into the school I want to do so that I can do the job I want. And it says set a time to check on your progress and reward yourself when you achieve them. So set up a little reward system for yourself. Okay, so that is goal setting. Like I said, really quick. I want you guys to, I don't know, it's so hard sometimes to stay motivated, especially once you get into your senior year and then again later on. But it's so important that you guys take each moment, each opportunity right now to learn and just soak up what you can. So that you can meet those goals that you want to meet. And that is it. On the worksheet that you guys have, it's got different time-based goals and subject-based goals. And I want you to be specific. Okay, goal needs to be specific. It shouldn't just be, okay, next year I want to make better grades. No, have a specific goal. I want to make at least 75% of my grades. I want to be an A, every 6 weeks next year. So that means, 3 out of your 4 or 6 out of your 8 classes are an A. Okay, so set a specific goal. What is your specific goal for next year and 5 years from now? 10 years from now, 15 years from now? What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of job do you want to have? Maybe in 5 years you'll be done with college and you'll be entering into a job. But maybe in 10 years you want to be a manager at that job. What are some specific goals? Not just, I want to be better, I want to lose weight, I want to, work out more, I want to be a better person. Make it something specific, make it specific. Okay?